younger than Richie and had been the oldest kid in his massive ward until Richie's arrival. The two boys, both from Liverpool, Robert lived several miles away from Admiral Grove, hit it off and became fast pals. They got up to a lot of hijinks. We used to make general nuisances of ourselves, he recalled. We used to have metal lockers, and we used to make drums. I was in the boys' brigade where I played drums. We used to make the drumsticks from a cardboard bobbin used to keep bandages on. They were conical, and we used to put them together to make drumsticks. We played on the metal lockers and they made a hell of a noise. It used to drive the nurses round and round. Robert's mother and Elsie got along well, and when Elsie couldn't make it to the hospital, she used to give my mum things to bring in for Richie, he said, so we got on pretty well together. Their short friendship ended when Richie was transferred to Heswall. By the time he was finally well enough to be discharged from Heswall, it was 1955. Richie was 15, and though he had missed 2 more years of school, he had no intention of ever returning to a classroom. Years later, the famous Beatle would repeat the story of how, as 15-year-old Richie Starkey, about to enter the workforce, he returned to Dinglevale Secondary Modern. He needed certain papers to prove that he had attended the school, but was told in no uncertain terms that they had no record of any student named Richie Starkey. They ended up finding his students' records, but had no recollection of Richie ever attending the school. The kicker to the story: when the Beatles became world famous around 8 years later, Dinglevale school officials held a garden party where they charged admission to sit at Ringo's desk. Leaving Liverpool to find a job wasn't much of an option. Richie had never traveled much further than New Brighton or the 180 miles south to London, where he spent a few days with Elsie and Harry, visiting Harry's relatives in Romford and seeing the sights of the city. There were trips to Seaforth and to New Brighton, and to Sunderland to visit his Aunt Evie and Uncle Jim, but nothing too fancy. But if he needed to find a job now, his options were limited. Besides his newly acquired passion for playing the drums, Richie had no discernible skills. He didn't have a proper drum kit yet. He hadn't even taken any lessons, so getting a job thwacking the skins in a band was out of the question, at least for now. When he was around 15, Richie saw the American crooner Johnny Ray, who was playing the Empire, out on the balcony of his room at the Adelphia Hotel, throwing photographs to the girls in the crowd. I thought, that's the job for me. Richie and a friend, probably Davy Patterson, followed Ray when he went for dinner at a Chinese restaurant called the Golden Dragon. I remember looking in the window and thinking, he's eating like a real person. But following in Johnny Ray's footsteps was just a childish fantasy. Richie continued to rest at home under the watchful eyes of Elsie and Harry, whom Richie had nicknamed his step-ladder. When he felt well enough, Richie registered with the local youth employment office in Liverpool, which found him his first job, that of a messenger boy for British Railways. The job paid 50 bob a week and came with a uniform, or so he thought. I went to the railways really so I could get a suit, he said. All they gave me was a hat, so I was very disappointed. That job lasted 5 weeks. It wasn't just not getting the uniform, he said. You have to pass a medical exam, and I failed. From there, Richie got a job tending bar on the St. Tudno, a pleasure steamer operated by the Liverpool and North Wales Steamship Company, which ferried passengers back and forth between the Liverpool docks and the Menai Straits in North Wales. One night a week, we all had to stay on board, so we all felt like real sailors, he remembered. I wanted, in the end, to be in the real merchant navy. It was great for picking up girls. Well, it wasn't actually great, but it helped. You'd go into a pub. What do you do? I'm in the navy. Oh, yeah? When did you get back? I just got back. When do you leave? 10 o'clock this morning. That job lasted around 6 weeks. It ended the day Richie showed up at work drunk after an all-night party and mouthed off to his boss. His next stop was Henry Hunt & Son, an engineering and manufacturing firm located on Windsor Street in Liverpool. His stepladder, Harry, had a connection there who helped Richie get hired on as an apprentice joiner.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.